Good evening, people. Welcome to another episode of RTV Sports. Today we have a very special program, Man United vs Liverpool preview this Sunday. Joining me is our resident tactical, Mr. Habib. How are you doing, sir?
Hi, Rishti. Good in yourself?
Good, thanks, good, thanks. Just excited for the weekend, actually. Usually, going to the games a bit nervous, but this one I'm really looking forward to.
I think Liverpool fans would, considering the mess United are currently in.
Yeah, it's been a decade, but the results haven't been 10 wins, so you never know. But we'll talk about that later.
Sure.
And also joining us today, we have a very special guest, all the way from Deepwood Mid Wicket, Mr. Khalid. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Also, thank you for having me, guys. Excited for this one.
No problem.
Welcome,
Yeah,
Khalid.
hopefully you feel that way off kick-off time also.
Better starting
So,
already.
yeah. So Khalid,
Liverpool
starting
fan.
with you, since you're a guest, we'll let the guest start first. So after last season, after the FA Cup game, there was a lot of talk about Erik ten Hag's future, and not just his future, but also the future of Man United with him bringing in new backroom staff, um, new sporting directors, and so on. So this was their first window to showcase what they're about, basically,
Mm.
maybe give an indication of how they want to take the club forward. So you've made 4 signings so far. I'm not sure if Ugarte is confirmed. I didn't
That's
see a year.
confirmed.
Okay, here we go. It's
It was a
confirmed.
year
Okay, so
from Fabrizio, not from the club yet, though.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So we'll take it as a because I don't think anyone is there to hijack at the moment. So we'll take it as 5 signings. So how would you assess your transfer window if the window had to close tonight? So with those 5 signings, and where do you think those 5 signings fit into your team, and where should they propel you in terms of league performance?
Okay, that's a lot of questions, but I'll get into it.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll rate the window based like a 7 out of 10. I think. I know maybe some people might rate it a lot more. We got all the crucial signings correct. I feel we needed 2 centre backs. We needed a defensive midfielder. We needed a striker. So I think
Yeah,
that spine has been sorted out, which was very important. And not only that, the outgoings is one I felt the business that we all the players that we sold. That's also really good from a Man United performance perspective because I
yeah,
think this board did a good job of. That's the most amount of money we brought in, like for from a transfer perspective, since I don't know since Sir Alex Ferguson's times. So we've never been good at selling. Like for example, getting 9 million pounds for like a Hannibal,
yeah,
getting
yeah,
20 odd million pounds for like McTominay. Those are good outgoings. But I wanted 2 centre backs. We got a young prospect in Euro. I think he's a good one for the future. Unfortunate that he got injured.
injured, yeah,
But I think the Ligt is a good signing. He should play instead of Maguire. I don't know what we're doing with Maguire. I know they want to try and ease the Ligt in first and give him more
yeah,
opportunities to like settle in before they start him. But Harry Maguire is average. No, not even average. He's worse than average in my opinion. I think like that first game that he played. I know there's a lot of like ranting and ravings about Harry Maguire playing well in that match. He just did his job. That's ultimately, I
yeah,
feel like, the basics he did right. He didn't do anything spectacular in that match. Every time he touches the ball, he gets slower. So that is a thing we get, like the whole game just stops when he touches the ball, and then when it takes so
yeah,
long to release the ball, and then he ends
yeah,
up just playing a sideways pass or backwards pass anyway. So like he might as well just pass the ball immediately backwards or immediately sideways, not wait like a couple of 10 seconds to release the ball and then play that pass anyway. So I have issues with Maguire, but let's not get too much into that. But overall, the window, I think it was a very good window for the spine of the team. I would like one more signing though. I think we do need a left back, maybe not even a permanent like left back, or maybe even a loan just to cover that side
yeah,
because we have Luke Shaw is missing, Malasia is missing. I don't think I don't think the youngster's ready. Harry Hamas, I don't think he's ready yet.
Yeah.
To play regular football, maybe to come in for like 10, 20 minutes at the end of a game, perhaps. But I don't think he's ready to start yet. So I think getting a loanee there, maybe, or a very cheap signing, that would be good. But with
Would
regards
you take
to league,
Chilwell?
no, not no, no. He's just
Okay.
like he's just Luke Shaw basically. He
Yeah.
injured the same amount of times, and he's not even as good as Shaw. So I wouldn't take Joel.
I'm just asking because he
Um,
was one of the names linked in the
yeah,
week. So, yeah.
yeah, no. It's a big talking point at the moment whether United must do that or swap with
Yeah.
Raheem Sterling. That's another
Sterling. Yeah.
conversation
Yeah.
Yeah.
that I have a different opinion on. But I think with these signings now, yes, it's going to take some time for these guys to blend into the
Yeah.
team and get settled. But I would have liked top four. I mean, minimum top four for me would have been a great finish at the end of the season and a trophy, maybe Europa League. I think that should be realistic. I feel, um, especially with the signs that I've seen in his first two games. I don't think it's as bad as some fans go crazy. We go like I've seen on social media how people can go from one end to another end of the
Yeah.
spectrum when it comes to results. With United, I know
Yeah.
I've seen it a lot. Like we lose one game and we win one game, and then we're like, oh no, we're gonna run away, we're back, and then we lose a game, then it's like, oh no, Eric Ten Hag might get sacked. So
Yeah.
it's like it's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned there that you weren't that bad, Habib. So if I were to tell you that the score on Sunday is going to be United 2, Liverpool 0,
Mm,
besides the fact that the crowd is going to be up for it, form goes out the window, all those cliches,
mm.
from a tactical point of view, yeah, from the start of the season, the first two games, have you noticed anything positive in which you can get at Liverpool?
Mm. So I've noticed that the pressing has been a bit better with Mason Mount in the team. I think he's high energy. The problem is he's injured now. So
He's
he's
injured
out
again,
for
yeah.
4 to 5 weeks. So it's another muscular injury at United. It's
Yeah,
honestly it's a problem. There've been way too many muscular injuries at the club. Something needs to be done about it. Um,
yeah,
what I would say is that this kind of game suits United when they let the opposition keep possession and then hit them on the counter. Under Klopp, Liverpool weren't really a possession-based team, but
yeah,
under Slot, they kind of more controlled, and if they frustrate Liverpool, they could catch them on the counter like they have in the last few games. Um, but United, they're so inconsistent. Um, they're not the most patient team defensively. Um,
yeah,
so I've heard Paul Scholes talk a lot about. Recently, he said that when he was playing alongside Michael Carrick, him and Michael Carrick would just slow a game down, dictate the game. Whereas he doesn't see that in United's midfield at the moment. They get the ball, they just want to attack.
yeah,
So that's the problem. And I hope that it's something that they can address. Maybe this is not the game for that. Maybe this is the perfect
yeah,
game to hit Liverpool on the counter. So I agree with Khalid. I think the performances haven't been bad this season. They were quite unlucky against Brighton. Two
yeah.
disallowed goals. But it's just those lapses of concentration that needs to stop.
Mm.
Both goals
So,
was atrocious defending.
yeah, yeah. I know that the first one, Maguire let the ball go.
Mm,
So you mentioned the leagues you want him to start. So the second goal that went in from Brighton for me was there was a complete lack of communication.
mm,
And that was when Maguire wasn't on the pitch. Do you think that a game like this, where the Ligt and Lysandra haven't played that long together, that communication could be an issue if they were to start? Oh, that is for Khalid, sorry.
Oh, okay, cool. So
Yeah.
look here, Martinez and De Ligt, they both captained under Ten Hag at Ajax. So I
Mm.
mean,
Oh, that's
they
true.
both
That's true.
they both understand the system well. Plus, I think with De Ligt and Mazarawi, I mean that connection over there will be good because they play together.
mm,
So I
Yeah,
think that if they start the game together, that back four
it won't be an
with
issue.
Delo, I
Mm.
think Delo understands United and what he needs to do. I also blame Delo for that goal because I mean, where the hell was he? I mean, he's the left back in
The
that
left, yeah.
situation. I
Yeah,
mean, everybody was shifted. Casemiro didn't. Oh, I don't know. Can't remember if Casemiro was subbed at that or did he play? Was he on the field at the time? But
yeah.
whatever. The
Yeah.
defensive midfielder wasn't there. Um,
But
Center back
yeah.
was missing. The left center back was missing. There were three players open in the box. Like that's
And
just
Masraoui was standing directly behind the person who was in front of a dinger. I can't remember. I think it was Talo. Was that Talo maybe?
yeah.
I
I
know there
think
were
so.
two
Yeah.
of them, or maybe it was the leg that was behind somebody that was blocking. But anyway, the
I mean, the
organization
lift was
was
in his
terrible.
position. The lift was in the position he was supposed to be in. So
Okay, then
like,
it must have been the person in front of him. Yeah,
I mean, it was my problem with that goal was just the switching off. We've seen that under Ten Hag last season
Yeah.
a lot.
yeah.
How many times have we conceded in late in
At the end of the
games? I think it's
game.
Mm,
nine. I think it's
Yeah,
like 9 times. I think the stat was or something like that. It's crazy.
yeah,
So we need to. That's a switch on, switch off player problem. Like I
yeah,
don't think that's a coaching problem because like a lot of people are going to get on the coach's back. And with regards to the subs that he made at the time, I mean, like there's a lot of criticism about that as well. So about the substitutions he made at the time that he made it.
yeah.
So I mean, I wasn't. I mean, who can we bring on from a midfield perspective at that point in time with McTominay there? My
But do you
big,
think it
my
was necessary, sorry, to take off Maguire for the league at the end of the game?
I don't think it was necessary, but I do think that the thinking behind that is obviously to give him as much game time before they start him because he
Yeah.
hasn't really had any much competitive games since the preseason. I mean, he hasn't played any preseason games, I think. So he needs to be he needs to come into the mix slowly. So
Mm.
I think they needed to give him some time, but I mean, if you were 2-1 up, I
yeah.
think it would have been a lot
It's a
better
different
decision to
story.
do. It's a pretty
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
And
So,
Brighton's
so
not the
out of
easiest
this,
place to go to. I mean, if
yeah,
you don't just if you bring on an extra defender, it's one thing, but to change a centre back with
yeah.
another one, you unsettling that whole back four. It's yeah. Look, I
Mm.
question his substitutions. Um, but yeah, it's
So out of this
sometimes you can
lineup,
blame him.
would you
But you
say
wouldn't
that
expect
Maguire's
like
position is the only one you would change?
um yo,
Rashford.
that's a big question. That's
Would
the
you
biggest
change
question about.
Rashford? Wow, Rashford
I,
usually he steps up for these games though.
I guess I'll
Rashford.
give your team and then I'll give my team, I guess.
Look.
So this is just the I saw online it was the predicted like the general
mm,
consensus was what Dundalk they think he would do.
Okay, look, for me, I'm tired of the talk that Rashford might pitch up for a game because he hasn't pitched up
Yeah,
for more than a season now. He's had so
yeah.
many bad seasons, and as soon as he has one good season, then we talk about the coming of Marcus Rashford. I find it completely nonsense. I think he should
And
be out
one
of the
game
team.
also.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think he should be out of the team. He's already been poor in this season.
So he's at
I
full
know you.
natural.
Yeah, Khalid, I don't know if you can give your thoughts as well.
Like that's the logical answer. I
Yeah.
mean, I can't look at that and say that you're wrong at all. Like I wouldn't disagree with you. But what
Mm,
I will
Yeah.
say is that it's Liverpool and
Yeah.
at home, our record against Liverpool at home is good. I mean, we haven't
mm,
Yeah.
lost against Ten Hag hasn't lost against Liverpool at home. So at least we know that someone like Marcus Rashford will he can be in crap form and then
Yeah.
put on a performance. Like remember last season when he gave that whole players tribune and he came out with all of that and then we played City and then he scored
mm,
that screamer like he was
yeah,
in
Yeah.
terrible form and then he didn't score after that again. So if he can do it in one, if he can do that, lift his spirits and play that type of game against
Yeah.
Liverpool because Garnacho's so dangerous off the bench
mm,
and
Yeah.
and at the moment, and he's not 100% fit. So
Yeah.
yeah,
and when he does start, he's not always the best starters
Yeah.
yeah.
in games.
Yeah. Rashford
One
So
scored
thing,
against us in the FA Cup also.
yeah,
mm,
one thing I would say is with Rashford, he could get behind Alexander Arnold. We know Alexander Arnold's not the best
Yeah.
defensively, and I think he's exploited him a few times already. So yeah, it is a fair point as well that Khalid's made.
it's a perfect person to get your form back against, isn't it?
Yeah.
A
That's a
dodgy right
joke.
back. At least defensively. Look,
But
offensively is amazing
Defensively,
though.
yeah.
but in the first two games, though, he hasn't vacated that space as much as last season, though.
Mm,
Because if you actually look at the heat maps when we play a game, and you look at the opponent's heat map, the area behind Trent is always where it's a clear intent that that is the space they want to attack.
Mm.
So
yeah.
it will probably be something that they'll. I don't think he will target another area on Sunday.
Yeah, you see, I'm
And
looking at it like this, man. Like we playing a more position type based football at the moment. We can obviously trying to keep the ball and rotate it and quick in transitions. We're trying to do basically how Liverpool does things
Mm,
this season. We kind of trying to play a similar style of football in a way. But Rashford is not the best of passers. I've always been very critical of his technical, natural football technical ability. It's not like at a high standard. You wouldn't compare his technical ability as these basic short passes. He's good at running onto the ball and running into space and obviously cutting in and shooting, for example. But his
yeah,
technical ability to keep the ball and stuff, he's not that brilliant at that. But I think against Liverpool, we're going to be a lot more compact, I think. I hope. And we are probably going to
yeah,
hit them on the counter majority of the time
yeah.
because the main problem is going to be stopping Liverpool's transitions because you guys are quick on the transition and you play between spaces really well. So we're going to have to stop that. And unfortunately, Mount is not fit
injured.
because
Yeah,
yeah, he's injured at the moment, and he was good at closing down at least. He's on the ball. He
Mm,
yeah,
wasn't that brilliant, but he was at least closing down and he had that energy. That's why
yeah.
I wish that we could play Ogate from the start because he
Mm,
has that energy and that tenacity and that fight, at least in
yeah,
the midfield. You'll be able to track back if he misses a tackle or they run through us. At least teams are not running through us. So far, it
yeah,
doesn't look like that. Even when you guys
mm,
played us in the preseason, um, the way we set up, in a way, I know you guys beat us 3-0, but you weren't necessarily running through the middle of the park through us and
yeah.
exposing us like that. And I think
mm.
That
automatically with the
wasn't a
lift,
3-0 game.
the preseason game, yeah, it wasn't a
That was, I
3.
said it
Yeah,
wasn't a 3-0 game.
yeah, it wasn't. So at least I think when we played the lift, we'll probably play a higher line.
Mm.
So, but against Liverpool, I don't know if you're going to try that higher line.
And I think you say Ugarte must start. So if I say that we started signing Subamendi or a type of Subamendi in that mold, right? It gives you the indication that we want a controller, we want a conductor in that
Mm.
position, and not necessarily a ball winner and someone
Mm.
snapping at people's
Yeah.
heels. But Ugarte is that type. So bringing him in, does that give you an indication of the type of football that Ten Hag wants to implement this season? That he's not really looking to control the way we want to control. He's more looking for pressing, win it high up, and we take it from there.
Who's that for?
That is for our people, sorry.
Oh, oh, okay.
I'm
Um,
used to two people on the screen.
I mean, they've. I think Casemiro's is very much a different type of midfielder. He is a ball winner, but he's a lot more composed on the ball. Whereas Ugarte is more is difficult. Is he more like a Roy Keane type of player?
He's like
Dives
a
into
pit bull,
tackles.
man.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
he's very much South American, like a South American tough tackling
yeah,
midfielder.
yeah,
Um, so I don't know if Ten Hag has seen the that the Casemiro way hasn't worked, and he's just someone to break up play completely and just sit in front of that back four. Does that release Casemiro? But more is it? Or is he a direct replacement for Casemiro? I'm not sure. Long term, he will most probably replace Casemiro, but I'm not sure if they're going to play them together. To be honest, because what happens then to
but,
Kobe Mainu?
but then Kobe would be the one next to him because he's the one who can take the ball under pressure.
Yeah, but
Oh, I assume so.
but would you not need another midfielder there, another body? Because I still think too they're a bit light.
No,
They're
Bruno
not
will be
good
in
enough.
front with them.
Yeah, they're not good enough for me. They're not good enough to have like just a two-man midfield.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's why
you see,
Bruno's the third.
you
Mm,
see we can see what style we playing with Ten Hag already when Casemiro plays because he's playing Casemiro in a role that he was hoping that Casemiro is going to at least have a little bit of what he had before at Real Madrid, because
Mm,
that was basically that was Casemiro's job in that Real Madrid team. Toni Kroos
yeah.
and Modric were the guys that were controlling the game,
Mm,
and
Yeah.
then he was just breaking up play and laying off short passes, which I think Ogata is really good at. I've only watched him play like 2 times, I think, in my life, in the time that he's played. So I've only seen him play twice, but he
mm,
genuinely seems to be the type of player that will break up the play, either take the ball up, like run it up. He likes to do that. Take the ball and
Yeah.
just push forward, bomb forward, which will be really good from a transition perspective with the wingers that we have. And
mm,
with Bruno,
Yeah.
Bruno also likes to bomb forward. So I think his job will be break up and just lay off to Mainu, and
mm,
to Bruno, and then or to the wingers. But that's why it was so important to get two ball playing center backs at the back, because if we
yeah.
need to
Yeah.
play the ball through the lines or over the top, we got Sandro Martinez and De Ligt that can do that from the back.
Mm,
So that option is available, because we do see that, for example, Martinez will sometimes push a little bit forward and try to go forward and then lay off the ball. So that was the crucial. I think that's why it was so crucial to get two ball playing centre backs. And I think the with Euro as well, is also very good with the ball at his feet. So at least now we know
Yeah.
that we've got cover for that. My only problem with that centre backs is obviously Maguire. I'm not even so worried with like I'm not only so worried like
PTSD.
even with Lindelof, for example. No,
yeah.
I don't think Lindelof's as bad as people make him out to be. His
Is he
passing
injured?
Mm,
range, he's injured though.
Oh my word.
That's the problem. Yeah.
still.
So I mean, his passing range is decent. I remember the stats flying around when he signed to us originally. People were talking about how he has a 98, 95% or 92% pass rate, and all of that,
Yeah.
completed pass rate and stuff like that when he just came. His passing is decent. It's his height, jumping, those type of
Mm.
things that is not so liquor.
So,
But
so
yeah,
Khalid, would you, with Ugarte, would he replace Casemiro in your opinion, or would you try to play him just behind Casemiro and push him forward a bit, push Casemiro forward, because Casemiro is
I,
a decent ball player.
that's exactly what I'm thinking at the moment as well. Because if Casemiro is becoming more like that, though, he's
Mm,
not actually playing like he used to play. He's actually
yeah.
taking the ball up
Yeah.
more. He's If we're protecting Casemiro's bombs forward, etc., I think that could be a decent idea. I think going forward is to
Mm,
maybe the swap out Ogate with Mainu from that perspective, and then the
mm,
switch the roles. I think Ogate starts.
mm,
He should start. Maybe we can just rotate Casemiro in here and there, which I don't think he's gonna like. But we were looking to sell him anyway, so we
mm,
might as well start working him out, not
Yeah.
out of the team in a way, but we can afford to probably play him less, because we're
mm,
gonna try and move him on anyway. I mean, Saudi didn't come in for him, so that's why he didn't go, or he didn't leave the club. But I think that they were trying to find a deal for him, because that's big money coming in and a big money off our wage bill.
yeah.
So I can see your scenario definitely. I can see Ugarte play with Casemiro, and I can
Mm,
also see Ugarte play with Mainu. Both can work, because you could see how tired Mainu was at Brighton. They should have killed
yeah.
him off rather. I felt he was getting
Yeah.
leggy at the end, because he hasn't he
Yeah.
hasn't really had much rest.
Yeah.
So I can see that happening. Yeah.
So just before we go on to the proper footballing team, would you pick out one key player from your team that's going to be vital on Sunday to ensure you guys get the win?
Khalid, you can go first.
Ooh, vital player to ensure that we get the win. Well, I think it will be that holding midfielder. It
Mm,
will all depend on how they run through us. If you guys run through it, because you guys like to play through the middle at the moment with slot. So if and then spread it out to the wings. So
Yeah.
and also the counter attack, we need to be able to stop that counter.
Yeah.
If you guys do win the ball of us, we need someone to destroy and stop that from
Yeah.
happening. So whoever they're going to play in that holding position, I think that's going to be the key to the victory if we're going to
Yeah.
win.
And you, Abid?
Um, I think considering the type of game that I think it's going to be, probably Bruno. I think people are going to say it's. I'm just being it's not a surprising choice, but especially if United want to catch Liverpool on the counter attack, if that ball goes to Bruno, he can hit a quick pass, and United's wingers are lightning, and that
Yeah,
could help expose the Liverpool backline.
yeah. It's funny. I actually agree with Khalid's answer, but for
Mm,
Liverpool side, because no, because it will be Gravenberch's first
mm,
test. On a big occasion, playing in the
mm,
six. He played it at Ajax, but at Liverpool, he's only played 2 games there. So
yeah.
his performance on Sunday, if he performs well, I don't think we lose the game because
Mm.
I think so. So I just want to bring up a stat from our last game quickly. Let me just find this image.
But they can't let him run through us. There's 3, 4 players that have played with Gravenberg. And Erik ten Hag
Shouldn't
knows
Yeah,
it
they
him.
should know
So
him
they
by now.
can't, yeah, they can't allow that to happen.
Yeah.
He's such a
So
good player,
so
though.
our last game we had a 92% pass completion.
Jeez.
Sure.
And I don't know if you can see on the right hand side the small gray arrows. So those are like crosses in the box. You can see it's attempts. So of the
Okay.
8% that we lost, it was for trying to get a goal, making crosses in the box. So the rest of the
Mm,
field, we hardly misplaced the pass.
yeah.
Sure.
So the reason why this is a double-edged sword is because on the one hand, it's completely different to Klopp.
Mhm.
We wouldn't see something like this under Klopp. Usually, the moment you win the ball, it's go immediately towards the poles. Whereas now, if you watched our game against Brentford, Szoboszlai would break, and you could see there's a pass for him to play through, but he decided to keep the ball on like 3 occasions and just recycle the position. Obviously, we were 2-0 up at the time, and so we didn't need the goals. If it was 0-0, he might have taken the risk. But under Klopp, we know we're going for that third and fourth. We're just going to play that ball forward. So why I say it's double-edged sword is of on the one side, if we keep the ball, as we've seen in our games, in the second half, we tend to do better than the first half. And your midfielders tend to tie in the second half, especially Casemiro and Kobe Mainoo,
Mm,
right? So I think if it scores 0-0 at halftime, I think we'll win the game based on that. But also, your tactic is going to be to try and press us, especially with Gravenberch in that new role. So we can't afford to just be playing pass in our own half. Because the moment you guys are actually you score little goals, but if you look at your results, usually you have less chances than the opposition, but you get the win. So it shows that you guys are clinical technically when you get your chances.
mm,
So that's why I'm saying Gravenberch's position is going to be so key in overcoming your press or what you're going to try and do. Because I don't think you're going to you will have spells of the game we 10, 15 minutes, it's just us defending and we can't get out. Maybe at the beginning when the crowd is up for it, the intensity is at its maximum. But after that, I think we're gonna take control. And Erik ten Hag is someone he doesn't mind not having control. We saw with the FA Cup game, we saw numerous
yeah.
occasions against the big teams. He's completely fine with that. So that's what I'm saying. What we actually did in the first 2 games, Erik ten Hag won't actually mind that because he doesn't actually get overawed by the fact that he's playing at home and that's the Man United way to attack. He doesn't actually worry about that. For him, it's all about just getting the result in the end.
Mm.
So yeah, in terms of us, I think we'll go third game in a row with the same lineup,
Mm,
and I think once again, I think there is a mental block that we do have at Old Trafford, despite our victories just before 10 came in. So I think for me, the tactic should be keep the score goalless, quiet down the crowd, and then our footballing ability should see us get the win.
Mhm.
Because I don't think you guys are a better team than us on paper. I don't think it's that actually far apart.
Look,
But
yeah,
it all
you
comes
guys
down
there,
to the goal.
you got
The,
Salah. Salah's record against United
yeah,
is
I was
ridiculous.
about to come to that. I was about to say that our attacking options, what we have on Sunday, is it outweighs yours because your Hoyland is injured. So it will be if he starts, it'll be his first start. He's a good player, but you never know how he's going to settle. So from an attacking point, if we provide a solid base, we have the attackers to punish you. It's just about managing the game, and I feel like we always, not always, on a lot of occasions, we fail to manage the occasion at Old Trafford. Like last season,
Mm.
also chance after chance after chance after chance, a lapse of concentration, Bruno equalized, and then the whole game just changed
Yeah,
after
we
that.
almost lost
So
that game as well.
we should have lost because I don't think that was a penalty uh, from Elliot.
Mm.
The way how they drag their feet and stuff. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It
They
was
leave their
un-
feet behind there.
In Salt River, the people they'll just tell you to get up and play on.
But not that polite though.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
true. I'm on YouTube. I can't say how they will say
I think there's a certain amount of time on YouTube. I think it's like after a certain amount of time, it's good.
it. Oh yeah. But yeah, I think we'll go with the same lineup, same philosophy in terms of try and get more control. But you have seen that we still do the long ball trend. He's not going to just stop
Mm.
playing long balls all of a sudden because there's a new coach. He's still just going to try and mix it up. So I don't know. I think it will be an interesting game. I don't think we have any injuries to report on. I don't know if Chiesa will be registered in time. They'll say tomorrow. So hopefully he'll be on the bench because I think he will provide an injection of pace that I think will be useful in the second half.
Yeah.
And I'm not
So it's
sure you guys, Casemiro and Main, when they tie, I don't know who's on your bench that can come
That's what I was
on.
gonna.
Who's
I was gonna
Main?
ask you. I was
there's
gonna
no
ask Habib that
McTominay now.
question actually. Yeah, that's. I was
Yeah.
gonna actually ask you that question because he said a
Scott is
0-0
gone
and then
also.
go for it, right? That's what he said he wants to see from Liverpool perspective. Would you be
Mm.
happy with that as well? Because we don't have legs on the bench. Collier is there. He's the backup centre mid.
Mm.
And then I was hoping we bring in another like Amrabat or something. That would have been a great extra body. But would you also be
Ah,
happy with a 0-0 and then try to go for it? Because now we can't play
yeah.
Mount, so we can't go the same way that we played in the
Mm.
first two games. We have to change it now. We're forced to change
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I think United fans, we as United fans need to be realistic. We are not at a point where we can go toe to toe with Liverpool. We have to be more circumspect, and if we get to an hour and it's 0-0, maybe it will frustrate Liverpool even more, and they'll become
Yeah.
more more attacking, and there'll be more gaps to exploit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. As long as if they get the win at the end of the day and dent Liverpool's title hopes, that will make me the happiest. What's your feelings?
But but do you think that if you offered both managers a draw, they would take a draw?
I think Ten Hag will take a draw. I don't think
Mm,
Mm.
Slot will take a draw.
yeah, I think
Really?
he's under pressure. I think he's under pressure already.
After two games?
Unfortunately, it's a results based sport. I mean,
Yeah.
the fact that they lost is it's not going to help him at all. And losing to Liverpool,
Yeah.
it's unthinkable at this
Yeah.
point already.
I don't think Ineos is panicking. I think the fans
Mm,
more.
yeah,
Yeah.
So like, but a draw, I will take minimum a draw. Yeah,
yes, yeah.
going
Yeah.
into the break at least, you're
Yeah.
going
Mm,
into a
It
international
could
break.
be the manner of if you don't win the manner of the defeat might
Exactly.
trigger
mm,
some talks on board level. But if it's a close game, and I don't think his job is in danger, and these are your fixtures after the international break. So if he loses this game, like it's quite
phew,
tricky. Palace battered you last season. Spurs, you never know. 50. It's actually 50-50 for me. Villa
mm,
away, extremely tough, even though you scraped the win last year. So if he doesn't win on the weekend, it could be very sticky in September for Ten Hag. And obviously, if he does win, it'll buy him time to get through these games.
mm.
That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, even that Southampton game's not the easiest game in the world. The
Yeah,
next three, oh, that's going to be a tough. You never want to go into an international break after
in
losing a game.
defeat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a great thing. And so yeah, I think he at least needs to avoid defeat in this game.
Especially when we're trying to get people match
Mm,
time, and now they're going away on international break, so they miss that chance to play for our team. And then, like for example, Ugarte is going to go away, and then
Yeah.
yeah, we need to get him into the team ASAP and De
mm.
Ligt. like ASAP. That's why they have to play. I think
Yeah.
at least some
Uh,
time, some game time they need to get against Liverpool, whether it's
I,
starting or
I
whether
th-
it's at the end.
yeah, I think also after the international break they will come into the side unless they get injured on international duty.
Don't say that word
That's the
injury.
only thing. That's the only thing I look for in the
I'm
international
tired of these
breaks.
things.
Your injuries last season.
I'm so
The
tired of
international
this.
breaks, I only look for the injuries. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
And having an international break so early in the season, what's that all about? These guys have
no,
played
it's
three
usually
games in
after. It's usually after the fourth game. I think.
Yeah,
But
but
this year's after the.
it's such a waste of time, man.
I think it's with the Champions League scheduling. I think it slightly changes.
I heard it's 2 weeks.
Slightly.
Is it 2 weeks international
What's
break?
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the next weekend they'll play, and then the following weekend is back to league. So 13 days basically.
Yeah.
The teams usually play twice. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's qualifiers this break or friendlies, but I think it is qualifiers. So Chiesa, if he's on the bench, he will probably come on. I think that's part of the reason why they pushed to get done today, so he can be registered in time.
That's another one I'm irritated with because it's Juventus is looking at Sancho. I'm
Yeah,
like, and they're talking about swap deals with Chelsea. I'm like, for Sterling. I'm like, Chiesa's there. Swap
Yeah,
him for
yeah,
Chiesa rather. I mean, I know Chiesa's
yeah,
injury prone and all of that, and he's been injured
yeah,
over the last year and so, but still, it would have been a better option than
yeah.
Sterling.
yeah, I think it's a good
Yeah.
sign for
Apparently,
Liverpool.
Chiesa played more times than Trent last season, so
Oh,
he's
yeah.
probably. I don't think he's that injury prone as people make it out to be. But he's not the
No.
same Chiesa that he was
Mm,
before the ACL after the
at the
Euros.
Euros, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, score predictions, Habib, you can start. You can give, if
Um,
you want to, you can give a prediction with your head and one with your heart,
I
if you
was gonna
want.
say,
oh, if I'm gonna give it my heart, I'm obviously gonna say United are going to win.
Yeah, but the
Um,
scoreline makes a difference.
um, I think I think I'm probably gonna go for a draw. I think 1-1.
You think
I think
scores first?
United will obviously try to frustrate Liverpool for a while.
Yeah.
They might score maybe they'll score the opening goal, but I think Liverpool's quality will
Come
be
back.
too much
Yeah.
at the end, and they'll probably grab a goal close to the end.
So 1-1 for you, Khalid.
Yeah.
Heart is saying 2-1. United.
And your age.
But I don't think we can score 2 goals. So I'll say maybe 1-0. 1-0 to United
Why don't you think you can score two goals? I don't know.
at the
You scored twice
moment.
against us last season.
Yeah, but we struggling to finish. I mean, I guess we've
Yeah.
created chances and we just haven't finished them off. It must bound to come,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, 2-1 United. But my head is thinking a draw as well. It's the same. It's like I think a 1-1 draw though, not a 2-2 draw. I think a
Yeah.
1-1 draw.
Mm.
But I'm gonna go 2-1 is my prediction though. Let's just be that guy.
I think 1-1 into the second half. Lissandro Martinez red card, and then we get a winner
You
towards the
should
end.
predict. You should predict the red cards.
Is he gonna be predicting
I,
offsides as well?
no, Nunes isn't starting, so we won't get any offside. We literally only had one offside so far, and it was when Nunes came on. So other than that, our attackers seem quite disciplined this season to not be offside all the time. But yeah, anyway, thank you for joining me, guys. I'm not going to say all the best for Sunday, but yeah, I don't even know what to say.
I won't say
That's
I won't want to
nice.
say may the best team win because that's gonna be Liverpool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, good. Anyway, good luck. Anyway, hopefully the ref doesn't play a factor as it usually does for you guys when you win.
Ah, Lushti,
Stop
stop that
talking.
nonsense now.
Stop talking
What nonsense is
nonsense.
this?
You
Do
just
you know how
said
many
that. You just
penalties you've been
said.
getting?
Didn't you
Did
just
you
say
see
that
who's
they
the
got a
ref? Did you
penalty
see
last
who's
year
the
that
ref?
they weren't supposed to get?
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah,
Didn't you just
exactly. You were talking about was it Harvey Elliott
yeah.
that dived? Come on, man.
Yeah, but this is what's that guy with the bald head? What's his name?
Anthony
He's
Taylor.
the ref. This Anthony Taylor's the ref. Yeah, Manchester
Oh,
born
isn't he like
player.
from close to Manchester or something?
Yeah, he's in Manchester. He's from Manchester.
Okay, good. That's good.
So, but he might be in Man City, so
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah.
it in the city. It's fine.
Anyway, thank you guys for joining. I will see you. Probably if Liverpool win, there will definitely be a review show. If there isn't, there'll be
I'm
probably
not
just a
available for
short
that.
clip. That's fine. If we win, I'll have our international director talk about this. But all right,
Yeah,
fine. But
thanks for
anyway,
having me,
thank you for
though,
joining me,
man.
guys. For everyone that's listening, thank you for listening. Please like, comment, and share the video with all your friends and family. And we'll see you next time. All the best. Enjoy the weekend. Stay safe, and God bless. Yeah.
Thanks.